To today's market sell-off, Scott Martin of Kingsview Asset Management. He's a Fox News contributor. We have Veronica Dagher there as well of the Wall Street Journal. Veronica, let me start with you. Financials a really big story, obviously. I mean, there's the Deutsche Bank story. We've talked a lot about that. There's the Wells Fargo grilling on Capitol Hill. I mean, it's a tough time for financials. Maybe there's an opportunity in there.
There could be, right? So we're in this tumultuous time, especially for stocks like Wells Fargo, as you said, and Deutsche. This has been a tough time for banking stocks in general. One of the reasons is the regulatory concerns. We're going to see more regulatory concerns going forward. You put someone like Elizabeth Warren in front of the CEO of Wells Fargo, grills him last week, more grilling going on today. This is only going to empower the regulators, and the banking sector seems to be their favorite place to regulate. So that's going to even put more pressure on these banks. That said, it could be a place for investors to jump in. Not sure if it's too soon, though.
Scott Martin, I heard Maxine Waters earlier vowing to break up Wells Fargo. Thank God politicians never do anything they say they're going to do, or else I'd be worried about that. In the meantime, GDP is still so sluggish. I mean, you know, better than estimates are revised up. You look at 1.4%. Is that really something to celebrate? And that's horrible.
Not at all. I mean, GDP has not been anything to celebrate for a couple of years now, Melissa. And if you look at things that make up that number, I mean, look at things like business confidence. Look at things like business formation here in the United States. It's at multi-year lows. So if anybody's hoping that GDP is going to get much better, I think I have another solution for them, and that is that GDP is probably going to be stuck here. And that's really the challenge here as we go in to November, is what candidate can bring out these business, say, incentivized ideas so that we can actually get GDP growing and get GDP growth, at least creating some more jobs, and get the stock market at least stabilized here, because the financials are starting to bring it down.
Yeah. Veronica, I had to laugh. You know, oil surged on this idea that OPEC was going to cut, and then people woke up today and went,
Yeah.
I wonder if they're really going to do that, or that's just another OPEC promise.
Right, exactly. We've heard things before. We'll see if it actually happens. I think just in general, to Scott's point, though, there is so much uncertainty in the market, and the big overhang, whether people admit it or not, is the election. I think we're saw that in the GDP numbers today, the revised GDP numbers. The business investment, it's gotten better, but it's still not great. And if you talk to CEOs, they're holding back because they're afraid about regulation, tax uncertainty, and this election. They don't want to make big decisions because they don't know what's going to happen come November 9th.
Great point. David.
And a little